When your cat drops a tiny stuffed mouse right into your lap, do you actually know what they are trying to say to you in that exact moment? Yes, they might want to play, and yes, the behavior is undeniably cute. But behind that simple gesture, there is something much deeper that most people miss entirely. Most owners immediately assume they are just being lazy and not playing with their cats enough. But that quiet guilt is built on a complete behavioral myth. And if you misunderstand this dynamic and simply throw the toy away without thinking, you could be accidentally rejecting a profound message they are trying to send you. So let us start by breaking down what that small stuffed mouse actually represents to their ancient, deeply ingrained predatory mind when they place it near you. 1. They are not just asking for playtime. We often think that a toy in the mouth automatically equals an invitation for an energetic game of fetch. But have you ever noticed your cat bringing you a specific toy when they already seem perfectly calm, quiet, and not particularly energetic or playful at all? Most people assume it is incredibly simple. The cat is bored. They want you to interact with the mouse. End of story. That is not boredom you are watching. That is actually the final stage of a completed feline predatory sequence. In their mind, they have just executed a flawless, highly successful hunt in your living room. Feline ethologists explain that the predatory sequence involves searching, stalking, pouncing, catching, and finally, managing the captured prey. The toy represents their hard-earned, successful hunt. When they drop it at your feet, that tiny gesture reads as, "I have successfully hunted this difficult prey, and I am bringing my ultimate prize back home." So the next time they do this, instead of immediately throwing the toy across the room, take a second to acknowledge their impressive catch. They are showing off. And by the way, if your cat brings a toy while making a loud, muffled, urgent howling sound, do not ignore it. We will decode that at the end. 2. They are officially treating you as their core family unit. This behavior goes far beyond just showing off a successful hunt to an audience in the house. Have you ever stopped to wonder why a natural apex predator would willingly surrender their hard-earned catch directly to you, a completely different, much larger species? Renowned feline ethologists Dennis Turner and Patrick Bateson noted that in the wild, cats are solitary hunters, but they willingly share resources only with their communal family. When they bring that stuffed mouse to your feet, they are telling you, "I do not just live in your house. I consider you my actual blood family." Notice how they almost never bring their prized toys to a random guest or a stranger visiting the house. This is a highly exclusive, family-only behavioral ritual. Most people assume it is just a playful habit. But that tiny toy represents a profound evolutionary shift from a solitary predator to a devoted family member. They are actively choosing to override their deepest, most ancient survival instinct to keep food entirely for themselves, just to ensure that you are included in the catch. That is not just a request for a game of fetch. That is literally the highest biological compliment a domestic cat can possibly give to a human. And hey, if this video is helping you appreciate those little soggy toy mice a bit more, hit like and subscribe so we can reach more cat owners. 3. They literally think you are a terrible hunter. Have you ever noticed they often bring you toys when you are just resting or sleeping in bed? You might wake up to find a toy mouse placed delicately on your chest or right next to your pillow. It feels like a sweet, random morning gift. Most owners assume their cat just got bored during the night and wants you to wake up and play. But that is not a play invitation you are watching. You see, your cat watches you every single day. They see you open cans and bags, but they never ever see you actually hunt or catch anything yourself. In his groundbreaking book, Cat Sense, biologist John Bradshaw explains that cats likely view us as large, clumsy, non-hostile cats who are simply incompetent at surviving. So when they bring you that toy in bed, they are saying, "You are huge and clumsy, and you are going to starve. Let me feed you." They are genuinely worried about your survival skills. They bring the prey to where you sleep because that is exactly what they would do for a helpless kitten. So do not be annoyed when you roll over onto a plastic ball. Accept the charity, because in their eyes, you desperately need the help to survive. 4. It is the ultimate display of absolute trust. When a cat brings you a freshly caught toy, they are surrendering their most valuable resource. Have you ever tried to take a toy away from a cat while they are still actively playing and noticed how fiercely they hold onto it? Most owners naturally assume that if a cat finally drops the toy, they are just tired of holding it and simply want you to animate it for them again. But in the animal kingdom, willingly giving up a captured resource to another individual is an incredibly rare behavior. It requires a complete, total absence of fear. Researchers at Oregon State University, studying feline resource sharing, note that a cat will only surrender a perceived prize to an individual they feel absolute secure attachment toward. When they place it near your hand, that tiny gesture reads as, "I know you will not steal from me. My resources are your resources." So never snatch it away aggressively. Always accept it gently. But their generosity actually goes one step further, leading to a much more demanding daily behavior. 5. They are trying to actively mentor you. Sometimes they do not just drop the toy at your feet, they repeatedly bat it toward you and watch your reaction. Have you ever wondered why they look so incredibly disappointed when you just pick up the stuffed mouse by the tail and toss it lazily across the room? Most people think the cat is just a harsh critic of your throwing skills. But they are not judging your arm, they are judging your hunting technique. Feline behaviorists observe that this perfectly mimics maternal teaching behavior. Mother cats bring dead or injured prey to their kittens to actively teach them the mechanics of survival. When they repeatedly push the toy toward your hand, they are patiently waiting for you to practice the kill. They genuinely want to see you conquer it. They are looking at you and saying, "Pay close attention. Watch how I do this. You need to learn this vital skill before it is too late." That is not just a playful daily invitation. That is a deeply serious life lesson from a tiny furry professor who desperately wants you to succeed. The best way to respond is to interact intensely with the toy before throwing it. But what if they announce this gift with a loud, strange scream? This brings us back to that strange, muffled, almost distressed howling sound I mentioned at the very beginning of the video, which you must never ignore. 6. What that loud, distress-sounding cry actually means when they are wandering through the dark house with a small toy firmly clamped in their mouth. If your cat wanders the hallways late at night, carrying a stuffed mouse and letting out a deep, throaty yowl, it sounds incredibly alarming and urgent. Most owners immediately assume their cat is either in sudden physical pain or perhaps feeling incredibly anxious, lost, and deeply lonely in the dark, quiet house. That is not a cry of pain, and it is definitely not loneliness. That is a highly specific, instinctual vocalization known by feline behaviorists as the prey cry. Studies on feline vocalizations show that this specific muffled sound is exactly what mother cats use in the wild to summon their young kittens to a meal. When a mother successfully catches prey, she makes this exact, throaty, closed-mouth call to tell her vulnerable, hiding babies that a safe, fresh meal is finally ready. By directing this ancient, deeply ingrained maternal call entirely at you, your cat is treating you as a beloved, completely dependent member of their own inner circle. They are literally walking through your house, shouting, "The hunt was successful. The food is secured. Come eat this right now before you starve to death." So when they inevitably wake you up at 2 in the morning with this loud, muffled howling, please never yell at them to simply be quiet. If you punish them, you are violently rejecting their deepest instinct to keep you alive. Instead, softly call them over, praise them, and accept the precious gift. Praising them for the catch completes their internal biological sequence, allowing their wild nervous system to finally relax, drop the toy, and rest safely for the night. Your cat is not just being an annoying, hyperactive pet when they drop a soggy, saliva-covered toy mouse directly onto your lap while you are trying to work. They are looking at your sheer size, realizing your complete lack of natural hunting skills, and deciding to take full, absolute responsibility for your daily survival. So accept the little stuffed mouse. Praise your tiny, fierce hunter, because in their wild mind, keeping you alive is the greatest act of love possible.